The massive alien ship hung silently above Seoul, its metallic surface gleaming under the afternoon sun. David Park stood on the observation deck of the United Earth Defense Command, his eyes fixed on the impossible sight before him. Outside, the city continued its normal rhythm, people walking, cars moving, street vendors selling their goods, seemingly unaware of the extraordinary moment unfolding. Commander Elena Rodriguez approached, her tablet displaying a series of complex sensor readings. "They're not responding to any communication attempts," she muttered, her fingers moving quickly across the screen. The alien vessel was unlike anything humans had ever encountered, a perfect geometric shape that seemed to defy the laws of known physics. Around the world, similar ships had appeared. Tokyo, New York, London, Moscow. Each city now hosted a silent metallic visitor that hung just beyond normal atmospheric boundaries. Military installations worldwide went into high alert, but no aggressive actions had been taken. Not yet. In D, a small research facility outside Seoul, Dr. Mark Kim reviewed the initial spectral analysis of the alien ship. The material composition was unlike anything in human scientific records. Its outer shell seemed to absorb and redirect electromagnetic radiation in ways that challenged everything known about material science. "This is impossible," he whispered to himself, adjusting his glasses and rechecking the data. The first communication came unexpectedly, not through radio waves or traditional communication channels, but through a global broadcast that simultaneously appeared on every digital screen worldwide. The message was simple, direct, and chilling. Humanity will surrender, or be eliminated. No explanation, no context, just a cold, calculated threat. Military leaders gathered in emergency sessions. The United Nations Security Council convened an unprecedented emergency meeting. Satellite images confirmed that similar ships had appeared over major population centers across every continent. They were positioned with mathematical precision, creating a perfect geometric pattern that suggested incredible technological sophistication. Young soldiers prepared their equipment, uncertain of what might happen. Civilians watched news broadcasts with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Some packed emergency bags while others remained skeptical that anything would actually happen. David Park studied the alien ship's design. Something about its configuration felt deliberate, almost like a calculated psychological strategy. The ship wasn't just a technological marvel, it was a statement, a declaration of superiority. "They want us to feel small," he said to Commander Rodriguez. "This isn't just about invasion. This is about breaking our spirit before any actual conflict." Rodriguez nodded, understanding the psychological warfare at play. The aliens had chosen their approach carefully, massive ships that inspired awe and terror, a direct threat that left no room for negotiation, a display of technological superiority that made human defense systems look primitive. Hours passed. Tension grew. Military units around the world remained at maximum alert. Every radar, every satellite, every sensor was focused on these alien visitors. Scientists worked frantically to understand their technology, their intentions, their potential, weaknesses, but the ships remained silent, watching, waiting. As night fell over Seoul, the alien vessel began to emit a low-frequency vibration. Electronic systems in nearby buildings started to fluctuate. Streetlights flickered. Mobile phones experienced sudden interference. Something was about to happen. David Park watched the screen, his hand unconsciously moving to the communication console. Whatever was coming, humanity would face it together. The threat was real, but so was human determination. In that moment, standing before the screen showing the alien ship, David understood that this was more than a potential invasion. This was a test, a challenge, and humanity would respond in the only way it knew how, with courage, innovation, and an unbreakable spirit. The first alien attack came without warning. Bright energy beams sliced through city skylines, cutting through buildings like paper. In Seoul, David Park watched in horror as entire city blocks vaporized within seconds. Military response teams scrambled, their traditional weapons looking like children's toys against the alien technology. Global defense systems activated simultaneously. Missile batteries across continents locked onto the alien ships, launching everything in their arsenals. Most projectiles disintegrated before reaching their targets, neutralized by advanced alien defensive shields. Dr. Emily Chen, a quantum physics expert, realized something critical. The aliens weren't just technologically superior, they were strategically calculating. Their initial assault wasn't about total destruction, but about demonstrating overwhelming power and breaking human resistance psychology. Military bases worldwide transformed overnight. Soldiers who were once separated by national boundaries now worked as a unified global force. Young recruits from different countries shared communication channels, coordinating responses in real time. The alien threat had done what decades of diplomacy could not: create true global unity. In the first 48 hours, major cities became war zones. Alien dropships deployed robotic ground units that moved with terrifying precision. These machines walked like humans, but possessed superhuman strength and computational abilities. They systematically targeted critical infrastructure, power stations, communication centers, transportation networks. But humans had something the aliens didn't: anticipate, adaptability. Military engineers like Mark Kim began developing rapid countermeasures. They analyzed alien weapon signatures, studied energy discharge patterns, and worked on technological solutions within hours of each attack. Where traditional military thinking would take months to develop strategies, human teams were creating solutions in days. Civilian populations also contributed unexpectedly. Tech experts, computer programmers, and engineers worldwide shared information through encrypted networks. Open-source resistance became a weapon more powerful than any traditional military strategy. Young soldiers used unconventional tactics. Instead of direct confrontation, they began studying alien robotic unit movements. They discovered subtle predictability in their advanced mechanical systems. Small electromagnetic pulse devices, quickly manufactured in makeshift workshops, could temporarily disable these seemingly invincible machines. The aliens had expected a straightforward conquest. Instead, they encountered a species that transformed every defeat into a learning opportunity. Each alien attack was meticulously documented, analyzed, and used to develop new defensive strategies. Satellite networks, initially thought to be vulnerable, became crucial communication platforms. Military units across different continents shared real-time battle data. A soldier in Brazil could now provide tactical information that would immediately help units in Asia or Europe. David Park coordinated a global response team. Their command center, hidden deep underground, became the nerve center of human resistance. They tracked alien movement patterns, predicted potential attack zones, and developed rapid response protocols. The economic impact was enormous. Global markets crashed. Traditional industries stopped. But something remarkable happened. Instead of chaos, human society reorganized with unprecedented efficiency. Manufacturing plants converted to military production. Universities became research centers for defensive technologies. Alien ground. Units discovered that humans were not just fighting, they were evolving their warfare strategies in real time. Where a traditional species might have collapsed under such technological disparity, humans saw an engineering challenge. Dr. Chen's team developed the first effective energy dispersal technology. A small device, no larger than a smartphone, could create localized quantum interference fields that momentarily disrupted alien weapon systems. Production began immediately, with millions of units distributed within weeks. Military leaders realized this wasn't just a war of technology, but a war of willpower. The aliens had calculations and superior weaponry, but humans had something more profound: an unbreakable spirit of survival and collective determination. As weeks passed, the initial shock transformed into organized resistance. Cities became fortresses. Every citizen understood their role. Children learned emergency protocols. Elderly populations supported logistical operations, The entire human civilization had become a single breathing organism focused on survival. The aliens had made a critical miscalculation. They saw humans as a fragmented, weak species. Instead, they had awakened a global force more unified and adaptable than any civilization in the galaxy. The alien technology captured during early battles became humanity's most precious resource. In hidden research facilities spread across different continents, scientists worked around the clock, dismantling and understanding every piece of recovered alien equipment. Dr. Mark Kim held a small alien communication device, its surface shimmering with unknown energy signatures. "We're not just copying," he told his research team. "We're understanding and improving." Within weeks, they developed quantum communication systems that made human networks look like primitive radio transmissions. Global research centers collaborated in ways never seen before. A breakthrough in Tokyo would be immediately shared with teams in Berlin, New York, and Cape Town. The competition between nations transformed into a unified human effort. Every scientist, every engineer became part of a single mission: technological survival. Military hardware evolved at an unprecedented rate. Traditional tanks and aircraft were quickly replaced with hybrid designs incorporating alien technology. Energy weapons that once seemed like science fiction became standard military equipment. Soldiers now carried devices that could create localized force fields, adapt to different environmental conditions, and communicate across vast distances with zero interference. David Park watched as the first set of human-alien hybrid fighter jets rolled out of production facilities. They looked nothing like traditional aircraft, sleek, almost organic in design, capable of maneuvers that defied previous understanding of aerodynamics. Each unit represented not just technological advancement, but human innovation. Defensive technologies saw the most dramatic improvements. Small nanobots, developed by combining human medical research with alien technological principles, could now repair human body armor in real time. Soldiers wearing these advanced suits could heal minor injuries within minutes, transforming battlefield medical response. Communication networks became virtually unhackable. The aliens' sophisticated systems were reverse-engineered and then completely reimagined. Quantum entanglement communication allowed instant, unbreakable data transmission across massive distances. Military units could now coordinate with unprecedented precision. Energy production saw a revolutionary shift. Alien power generation technologies were adapted to solve global energy challenges. Small fusion reactors, once considered decades away, became practical and widespread. Cities that were once dependent on fossil fuels now generated clean, unlimited energy. Transportation transformed dramatically. Vehicles incorporating alien anti-gravity principles could now move with minimal energy consumption. Public transportation systems in major cities began using technologies that made previous electric vehicles look like horse-drawn carriages. Medical research experienced unprecedented acceleration. Alien biological scanning technologies allowed doctors to diagnose complex diseases in seconds. Genetic repair mechanisms, once theoretical, became practical medical treatments. Diseases that were considered incurable suddenly had potential solutions. The psychological impact was profound. Humans were no longer just defending themselves. They were advancing beyond their previous technological limitations. Every captured alien device became a gateway to new understanding. Scientists who were once competitive now worked with a unified purpose. Educational systems rapidly adapted. Universities restructured their curricula to focus on quantum technologies, advanced engineering, and adaptive learning. Young students who were once considered too inexperienced now became crucial contributors to global research efforts. Manufacturing underwent a complete revolution. 3D printing technologies enhanced with alien material science principles could now create complex machinery with molecular-level precision. Entire production lines could be reconfigured in hours, not months. Dr. Emily Chen's team developed the first human-alien hybrid computer system. Its processing capabilities were millions of times faster than previous technologies. Complex mathematical calculations that would have taken years could now be completed in seconds. Artificial intelligence saw dramatic improvements. AI systems could now learn and adapt at speeds that made previous machine learning look primitive. These systems became crucial in predicting alien attack patterns, developing defensive strategies, and managing global resources. Space exploration technologies advanced exponentially. Propulsion systems that were once theoretical became practical. The first human spacecraft incorporating alien technological principles could now travel vast distances with minimal energy consumption. David Park understood that this wasn't just a technological revolution, it was a fundamental transformation of human potential. The aliens had arrived expecting to conquer a primitive species. Instead, they had sparked the most significant technological leap in human history. As months passed, the technological gap between humans and aliens began to close. What seemed impossible became not just possible, but practical. Humanity was no longer just resisting, they were advancing. The technological revolution had begun, and the universe would never be the same. The aliens never understood human psychology. Their advanced computational systems could calculate complex battle strategies, but they couldn't comprehend the human spirit of resilience. Each defeat only made humanity stronger, more determined. In the command center, David Park watched global communication networks. Everywhere, humans responded to alien attacks with an unexpected emotion, defiance. Where other species might have surrendered, humans transformed their fear into motivation. Children in refugee camps drew pictures of resistance. Elderly populations shared survival stories. Every citizen became a psychological warrior. The alien leadership studied human communication channels, confused by the complete lack of submission. When they destroyed a city, humans would immediately start rebuilding. When they killed military units, more volunteers would step forward. Their traditional psychological warfare techniques simply didn't work. Dr. Emily Chen discovered something remarkable. Human brains possessed a unique adaptability that alien computational models couldn't predict. The more pressure applied, the more creative humans became. Military strategists weren't just defending, they were turning each attack into a learning opportunity. Global media played a crucial role. Instead of spreading panic, news networks became platforms of collective motivation. Stories of individual heroism spread faster than alien weapon technologies. A soldier saving civilians, an engineer developing a new defensive technology, AI, communities supporting each other. These became more powerful weapons than any physical weapon. Military training transformed. Soldiers were no longer just taught combat techniques but psychological resilience. They learned to turn fear into strategic thinking. Mental health support became as critical as physical training. Every soldier understood that their psychological strength was their most powerful weapon. The aliens had calculated human response based on traditional biological survival models. They expected humans to collapse under sustained pressure. Instead, they encountered a species that viewed challenges as opportunities for growth. Refugee communities became unexpected resistance centers. People who lost everything developed innovative survival strategies. Small groups shared resources, developed communication networks, and supported each other. What the aliens saw as weakness, humans transformed into strength. Global cultural practices became psychological shields. Music, art, storytelling. These became methods of maintaining hope. Children in war zones would create drawings showing humans defeating alien invaders. These weren't just images, they were psychological statements of resistance. Military leaders, like General Mark Kim, understood that this was more than a physical conflict. Every communication, every interaction was a psychological battle. They didn't just want to defeat the aliens. They wanted to demonstrate the unbreakable human spirit. Alien communication networks began detecting something they couldn't understand: hope. Mathematical models showed that human resistance should have collapsed months ago. Instead, their determination was increasing. Each alien attack was met with more unity, more innovation, more resilience. Educational systems adapted quickly. Schools didn't just teach survival skills, they taught psychological flexibility. Students learned how to maintain hope, how to support each other, how to turn challenges into opportunities. An entire generation was being raised with the understanding that resilience was a weapon. The global economy transformed. Traditional economic models collapsed, replaced by cooperative systems. Communities that were once divided by national boundaries now worked together. A technological breakthrough in one country was immediately shared globally. Alien computational systems began experiencing unexpected errors. Their predictive models, which had worked perfectly against other species, started failing when analyzing human behavior. Humans didn't follow expected survival patterns. They didn't calculate risk the same way other species did. David Park realized that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology or military might. It was their ability to find hope in the most impossible situations. Where a traditional species might have surrendered, humans saw an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become stronger. The psychological warfare had a clear winner. The aliens had advanced technologies, superior weapons, and computational abilities beyond human understanding. But humans had something more powerful, an unbreakable spirit of collective survival. As months of conflict passed, the aliens began to understand a terrifying truth. They weren't just fighting a species. They were fighting an idea that could not be defeated by weapons, calculations, or technological superiority. The human spirit was their most powerful weapon, and it was completely unstoppable. The final battle wasn't just a military confrontation. It was humanity's ultimate statement. Alien command ships gathered near Jupiter, believing they would deliver the final blow to human civilization. They were wrong. David Park stood in the Global Command Center, surrounded by screens showing planetary defense systems. Thousands of modified human spacecraft, incorporating alien technologies, waited in strategic positions. Each ship represented years of human adaptation, innovation, and collective determination. The alien fleet looked magnificent, massive ships with energy signatures that could destroy entire planets. Their computational systems had calculated every possible human response. They believed victory was mathematically certain. Dr. Emily Chen's quantum communication network activated. Thousands of smaller human ships, appearing insignificant compared to alien vessels, began moving with coordinated precision. They weren't just fighting. They were executing a plan developed through global collaboration. Alien commanders watched in confusion as human ships moved in patterns that defied traditional battle strategies. Where other species would attack directly, humans used complex adaptive movements. Each ship could communicate, learn, and adjust in milliseconds. The first wave of alien energy weapons fired. Massive destructive beams that had previously obliterated entire cities now encountered something unexpected. Human ships had developed adaptive shield technologies that could not just absorb energy, but redirect it. Smaller human vessels began targeting specific points in alien ship configurations. They weren't trying to destroy everything. They were strategically dismantling critical systems. Years of studying alien technology had revealed specific vulnerabilities. Global populations watched the battle through advanced communication networks. This wasn't just a military conflict, it was humanity's collective moment of resistance. Every person, from children to elderly individuals, understood the significance of this confrontation. Military units from every continent coordinated with unprecedented unity. A tactical decision made in South America would be immediately implemented by units in Asia. The global defense network had become a single living organism. Alien computational systems began experiencing unexpected failures. Their predictive models, which had worked perfectly against hundreds of species, suddenly couldn't calculate human movements. Humans were fighting with a combination of technology and unpredictable creativity. The battle moved beyond Jupiter, spreading across the solar system. Human ships, which looked small and insignificant, demonstrated capabilities that challenged everything the aliens understood about warfare. They weren't just defending. They were systematically taking control. Dr. Mark Kim's advanced AI systems began infiltrating alien communication networks, not to destroy but to understand. Each interaction provided valuable information, allowing human forces to predict and counter alien strategies in real time. Alien leadership realized, too late, that they had fundamentally misunderstood humanity. They had seen a species and calculated its potential based on traditional biological and technological assessments. Instead, they encountered a civilization that could transform challenge into opportunity. The final phase of the battle wasn't about destruction. Humanity wasn't seeking revenge. They were establishing a new understanding of interstellar interaction. Each tactical movement was carefully calculated to minimize unnecessary loss of life. As hours passed, alien ship systems began shutting down, not through direct weapon attacks but through complex quantum interference technologies developed by human scientists. The aliens were being mathematically defeated. David Park watched the final moments of the confrontation. Alien command ships, once symbols of technological superiority, now drifted helplessly. Human vessels surrounded them, not for destruction, but for potential communication and understanding. The last alien communication was simple, a request to negotiate. Humanity had done what no species had ever accomplished. They had not just survived, but transformed a potential extinction event into a moment of collective growth. When the final battle ended, humanity had changed forever. They were no longer just an Earth-based civilization. They had become something more, a species capable of adapting, growing, and transforming in the face of the most impossible challenges. The confrontation was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning.